All right. So we're going to start Unit 7. And before we start doing Unit 7, we're going to do some practice work. And today we're going to talk about area and perimeter of circles, rectangles, and squares, and two different types of triangles. So the first one we're going to talk about is a circle. And some things that we want to know about a circle. We have a diameter, which goes all the way across the circle. And then we have the radius, which is half of the diameter. Okay, and you are going to have a formula chart today. So all of these formulas that we are going to be talking about are on your formula chart. So when you are looking at it, make sure that you are familiar where these are. So first, we're going to find the area of this circle. So area of a circle is pi r squared. And the circumference, which is actually the perimeter, the distance around the circle, we have two formulas, 2 pi r or pi d. So if you're given the radius, you will want to use 2 pi r, or if you're given the diameter, you will want to use pi d. So let's look at this one. Let's see if we can solve for the area. So area equals pi r squared. Area equals pi. Now, one thing I want you to do, you need to be able to write all of the formulas and label everything. So on this circle, I know my radius is 9. So 9 squared. Now, on your calculator, you will be using pi on your calculator. So here, pi is, it's right here under the clear button, and it's in blue. Remember, anything that's in blue, we do the second button. So second pi 9 squared. So my area for this circle is 254.5 inches squared. When we talk about area, it's always squared in units. Now let's see if we can find the circumference. The circumference is the distance around. I know my radius, so I'm going to use the formula 2 pi r. So 2 pi 9. Again, 2. We're going to use pi on my calculator. And my circumference is 56.5 inches. Okay, so notice that area is squared and inches is just in single units. Okay, let's look at the next one. So here I have another circle. This time, the line goes all the way across this circle. So this is my diameter. And then I want to divide that by 2 to find my radius, which is 2.5. Okay, and we're still going to find our area. Area equals pi r squared. So area equals pi 2.5 squared. So second pi 2.5 squared. And my area for this circle is 19.6 centimeters squared. Okay, so I'm going to find the circumference, and this time I'm going to use the formula pi d, and that is because I know the diameter. So I'm going to put pi 5, second pi, and then 5. So my circumference for this circle is 15.7 centimeters. Okay, now we're not going to do all of these problems. I'm going to show you a couple from each one just so you are familiar with them. Okay, so let's look at rectangles. Now, when I have these other three shapes and I'm talking about perimeter, perimeter just means to add all the sides. Okay, now when I say all the sides, I'm talking about all the sides that are on the outside of the shape, whether it's a rectangle, a square, a circle, any of those. Sorry, I'm trying to get this a little bit more focused for you guys. See if I can zoom in some. Okay, all right. Now on a rectangle, we have a formula that goes with perimeter. I don't care which one you use, but I want you to be familiar with this formula. P equals 2L plus 2W. That's to find the perimeter of a rectangle, and you will see that when you get to high school and use this in algebra a lot. But the area for both a rectangle and a square is area equals length times width. Okay, so the first thing I want to do, I want to identify my length is 54 and my width is 13. I want to find my area, which is length times width. So 54 times 13. 54 times 13. My area for this one is 702 feet squared. Remember, area is always squared. Okay, now I want to find the perimeter of this rectangle. So you can do either way. We can use this formula, P equals 2L plus 2W. So 2 times 54 plus 2 times 13. Or we can add all the sides. Notice on a rectangle we have 4 sides. I only have 2 numbers. So that means if this is 54, this is 54. If this is 13, this is 13. And then we would just add all of these sides. Okay, so let's say I add everything and I get a perimeter of 134 feet. Am I going to get the same thing when I multiply and use this perimeter formula? So 2 times 54 plus 2 times 13. Yes, I'm going to get the same perimeter. Okay, whichever way is easier for you. I just want you to be aware that you will see this formula next year in algebra. Okay, so here I have a square. And I'm using my same formula, length times width. So my length is 7, my width is 7. So to find the area, 7 times 7, my area is 49. Now to find the perimeter, I would just add all my sides. So 7 plus 7 plus 7 plus 7. Or you can do 7 times 4 because there are 4 sides and they're all the same. And you're still going to get a perimeter of 28. Okay. Okay, so the next two are 2 different triangles. We have a right triangle and just a regular triangle. The perimeter stays the same. We add all the sides on the outside, and the area formula still stays the same. Area equals 1/2 base times height. Okay? All right, again, you will have to write your formulas and you will have to label and identify everything. So if I want to find the area of this right triangle, I need to know the base and the height of the triangle. Well, my base of the triangle is 10. It sits on the bottom. And my height is 8. So area equals 1/2, 8 times 10. So 8 times 10 is 80. And if I take half of 80, I get 40 centimeters squared. Then my perimeter is just to add all my sides, and all of my sides are the 3 sides of the rectangle or the triangle. So here I would have 10 plus 8 plus 12.8, and my perimeter is 30.8 centimeters. Okay, now what if I just have just a regular triangle that you would probably see. I'm still going to use the same formula to find the area and the perimeter. Okay? All right. So I want to identify my base and my height. So my base of this triangle is 25. Now, the height of your triangle, just as the same in this right triangle, is from the top of the triangle all the way to the base. So this is my height here. Same goes for here, from the top of the triangle to the base. So my height is 12. So here I have 1/2 times 12 times 25. So 12 times 25. So 1/2 times 300. Now, from here, you can just hit divide by 2. And my area for this is 150. Okay. Now, my perimeter is to add all sides. But if you remember from what I wrote at the top, it's all the sides on the outside, which are 15, 20, and 25. So 15 plus 20 plus 25. So that would be 25, 30, 40. My perimeter is 60. Okay. So you have some work to do in your journals that I would like for you to do. They will be on pages 2 and 3. And you can keep these notes out and make sure you have the formula chart.